Guys, hold on. I can't. Yeah, because that's what we're doing. Carol, I cannot respond to you. That's it. It said that because that's what we're doing tonight is zoo animals. Okay. Hey, nature peeps and newcomers. I am Nature Guy X46. Welcome to my live. A reminder to be kind while you are in my live. I encourage you to participate and ask your questions. Today, we're going to be talking about a topic that can be a bit of a rough one for some people, and that is, should animals be in zoos? We might even take a little look back at how zoos used to be, but maybe not, so we can understand how far we've come. But first, we need to review my stats for this week. So let's try and do that. If we can. Okay, so Ruben Medina. Your comment is being held for review for some reason, so yeah. So we had, and unfortunately my text is pretty small, so I'm struggling a bit to see it. But we had 8 videos, 5 shorts, 4 live streams, and 3 posts. 2.9 thousand people tuned into you, and I got 17 new subscribers. Of course, the top 3 videos of the week. Oh, it's different today. Awesome. Whale Tales, Snow Leopard, and question from subscriber. Awesome. Usually it's different. We had 59 likes. Ruben. That's a timeout, dude. That's a 10-second timeout. We had 59 likes, 14 shares, and 7 comments. Yeah, I'm thinking kids on spring break, but I don't know. Okay, well, I will put you on a 5-minute. We'll put you on a minute. The next step is I report them. What was the second most popular location that my viewers were watching from? Vietnam, Indonesia, or the United States? Yes, actually it is Indonesia. Okay, and second channel. I have 13 people in here, and again, Ruben, I've been nice. Would you like me to report you for harassment? Because that's the next step. On Wildlife Replica World, 33 subscribers, 1.8 thousand views, and 12.1 viewing hours. Okay, so getting into the topic for today. Yeah, I am. And Okay, I'm done with him. Anybody else? He has 24 hours out. So now let's get into today's topic. One of the complaints that we see a lot is keeping animals in cages is cruel. So at one time, animals were all kept in cages. They were basically there for people to see animals. There wasn't a lot of conservation going on at the time. So, yeah. They were basically there for people to gawk at. There wasn't a lot of enrichment being done. Nowadays, zoos are really trying to do what's right by the animals. And so, granted, there are still some exhibits that could be better than what they are, but they're trying. They're really trying to do what's right. This is why some zoos have given up their elephants, apart from they're expensive. But yeah, they really are trying to get better, and that's the takeaway from it. Lost my place. Sorry for saying So a lot of zoos have sent their animals to bigger zoos that have more space, so that they don't have to mess with other things. They have their animals entertainment value. And that's the other thing, is zoos are only there for entertainment. And that's not really the case. They do have entertainment in their animal shows, but quite often these shows feature animals doing natural behaviors, such as flying over your head, or they're doing training that helps the animals take care of themselves via behaviors. So you might see the zookeeper cue for an open mouth, or to stand up against the glass or the fencing so that they can do a blood draw, stuff like that. Or they might just be talking to you about the facts related to this. Animals sometimes, okay, so keepers might be cruel, or keepers are cruel. Don't forget, if you have questions or comments, to make sure that you're posting them so that I can respond to those. I zookeepers do not go into this profession knowing that they're going to get rich. Because you're not going to get rich off of this job. Hi, everybody. Welcome to my live. Today we are talking about zoos and the animals in them, whether that's bad or good that they should be in zoos. I have not done a poll yet because I was busy taking care of something. Quickest way I know. Quickest way I know to have a problem is to do what he did. Okay. Should animals be kept in zoos? You can respond one way or another. They don't get a lot of money being a zookeeper. Now, they may get some, but they may get asked to provide enrichment items for the animals. Some of that comes from their pockets, I'm sure. Zookeepers go into the job because they love animals. So yeah, zookeepers would give their all for their charges. Just like good teachers would do that. If you want to see the animals, go to the wild. Okay, this one I had a problem with. And this is actually really good advice. Problem is, not everybody can afford to go to the wild to see the animals. But I'm also a firm believer in the fact that people need to see an animal in order to love it. They need to make that connection. And zoos allow people to make that connection. You can't afford to see. Many people cannot afford to travel to the Congo in order to see lowland gorillas. You may not be able to afford to take a safari to Africa to see lions, cheetahs, leopards, elephants, hippos, or rhinos. Zoos provide a chance to see animals that we wouldn't normally have a chance to see. It gives us a chance to learn about animals and to see those animals. Now, we also may not be able to afford a trip to Yellowstone National Park. So again, zoos allow you to see some of those animals. Now, it's possible that not all the animals that you're going to see at your neighborhood zoo or your area zoo is going to have the capability to show you all of these animals, because not every zoo has the same animals. The money that zoos make doesn't help the animals. This is another one. This, though, is a lie. Zoos do all kinds of things to help the animals. There are events that zoos do that go directly to help their animals or their animal counterparts in the wild. They are even known to raise money to build new exhibits or events that help raise money for conservation. So it really does go back to help the animals. The animals are bored. Ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of things that help keep an animal from being bored. For gorillas, it might be animals having their food scattered outside in their yard so they can forage, or that they have to forage. For chimpanzees, it might be having their food put into a fake termite mound so that they have to use tools to go in and get that out. Octopuses might be given puzzles that they have to do in order to get to their food. Lions may be given scents to check out, while like things like cologne or perfume or catnip, or even possibly dung from other zoo animals. And you're thinking, why would they do that? Again, it allows them to use their senses. That is a type of enrichment. In some zoos, when possible, animals are even escorted around the zoo, sometimes to meet people, sometimes to visit with other animals, and this may be done before the zoo opens or after hours. Yeah, and some of them even have toys. It wouldn't be uncommon for something like a parrot to have toys. You may notice that some of the elephants have big balls. Those are sometimes big balls. Sometimes those might be given to bears. They may also be given buckets, big barrels to play with. Or sometimes they even give their carnivores basically blood sickles. That is frozen blood. Other times they may be given ice with different stuff embedded in it. So it goes a long way. Zoos break up families. Now, when they say break up families, they're talking about zoo animal families. But many animals, yes, they do. Yes, they do. They do the birthday parties and cakes and the boxes which help give animals something to play with. So I wonder sometimes if there isn't goodies inside the boxes, but anyway, zoos break up families, and I have to admit they do. They absolutely do, but there's a reason for it. Many animals do not stay with their mothers forever anyway. So, like for instance, hyenas, I think the males separate out and go join different clans or start their own clans. And so, yeah, that I understand. I say an awful lot. So somebody needs to keep track of how many times I say the word in this live, and then post it in the community page on YouTube. So I don't understand why people get upset about this. Zoos will send animals to other zoos so that their genetics don't get all tainted and crazy. That has been known to happen. If the right records are not being kept, there's no way of knowing who is brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles. There's no way of knowing. And that can cause all types of genetic problems. I'm currently offline. Remove zoos from the wild. It is true. Sometimes zoos do remove animals from the wild. Oh, wait, I skipped one, but we'll finish this one. Case in point, the California condor. 22 wild condors were taken into captivity. In 2022, there were 550 condors living in the world. Now, I'm talking about the California condors, not the Andes condor. Half of them lived in the wilds of California, Arizona, Utah, and even Baja California. No, on my Chromebook, so that I can monitor lives or monitor Facebook. Zoos breed animals to send to other zoos, circuses, or hunting facilities. Now, to the best of my knowledge, zoos do breed animals, and they breed them behind the scenes sometimes and release those into the wild. Quite often, the animals are allowed to get old enough, and then they're sent away to other zoos where they're paired up with other unrelated animals. Breeding isn't done whenever the animal wants to breed. Zoos decide who breeds with whom and when, and that cuts down on unwanted babies. Petting zoos have been linked to diseases. Well, parents, we got to talk about this a little bit. Common sense, okay? If you have a scratch on your hand, an open cut, and you let your dog lick your hand, you're going to get sick. You will get sick. You could end up with sepsis. You could lose your hand. I don't mean to force a parent into anything, but keep in mind that nobody forced you to take your child into a petting zoo. Nobody. So going into a petting zoo without baby wipes or hand sanitizer for afterwards, and that may not always fix the issue, but it'll help the issue a little bit. Kids that stick their hands in their mouths, little kids, consider that before you go into it. Animals sometimes act up. Let's talk about it. It's true, animals do sometimes act up in zoos. It happens when a child falls into an exhibit. We have to act fast. I'm not going to get on a soapbox too much. I lied. So kind of have to get on a soapbox on this one. Parents, the barriers are there to keep your kids and yourselves away from the animals. I know, parents, I get it. You have to be quick. I know kids get heavy. I know you can't always anticipate everything that could potentially happen. Still, you need to be ready for anything that could potentially happen. I've said this probably 1,000 times. Keep your kids away from the barriers. That's your job, your only job when you go to a zoo. One of the only jobs. I have said this before. Zoo animals are not pets. Let me repeat that. Zoo animals are not pets. They may do behaviors for the zookeepers. That is not a sign that these animals are in any way domesticated. So if John Doe is to climb into a lion cage, lion's going to do what a lion's going to do. If John Doe walks into the elephant exhibit, elephant's going to do what an elephant's going to do. Tommy, Tommy might fall into a gorilla exhibit and might be totally fine. Who knows? The thing is, if you fall in, or if you walk in, or whatever, and you shouldn't, because that puts you and the animals at risk. They are wild animals, even though they may act like they're not. They're wild animals. So you cannot anticipate an animal's actions. So do yourself a favor. Do your kids a favor. Do the animals a favor, and keep an eye on your kids. But they also deserve to be safe, and that goes for the animals. The zoo is going to do what it has to do in order to protect the people that visit. So if an animal gets loose, the zoo is going to do what it has to do to protect you. They have safe areas. So like if a lion is outside and it gets away, they're going to send everybody at the zoo into a building, into the restrooms, somewhere where that animal cannot get to you. If that animal gets to the outer limits of the zoo, they may put down the animal. Because they have to do what they can do to ultimately protect people. Zoos decide when an animal can sleep. Come on, people. Do you really think that zoos go around with cattle prods, and anytime that they see an animal sleeping during visiting hours, that they electrocute them? Really? I mean, come on. No. If that were the case, there would be times when you would go to an exhibit and the animals are sleeping. If that were the case, the animals would not be allowed to sleep. So that attack, no. Animals are given antipsychotic drugs. I'm not going to touch that one. Other than to say that some animals are on medication, probably not because they're psychotic or because they have depression or anything like that. So we're done talking about that one. Zoos cannot stop extinction. For once, I agree. In the long run, for some species, animals cannot stop extinction. Zoos cannot stop extinction, but they can help to stop it. You and me have power to fight extinction on some level or another. Zoos are struggling really hard to fight extinction in numerous ways by breeding animals that you may not even get to see because they're kept behind closed doors. Zoos do a lot of releasing because they have the people on staff that can do the breeding. They have zookeepers who are trained to work with animals. And so it's not uncommon for a zoo to release a species of animal that lives in the state that they work in or that they exist in into the wild. And that is such a blessing. Usually what I see are like reptiles and mammal or reptiles and amphibians, but zoos also do another thing, and that is sometimes animals cannot be released into the wild. And what a zoo will do is if there's an animal that they can exhibit that will allow the public to see these animals and to learn about these animals, they allow those animals to have a forever home. Now, not every bald eagle that are in zoos, but they take in these hurt animals that can't be released and they give them a home. Some of the bald eagles that you see in zoos are animals that were so badly hurt that they, for whatever reason, cannot be released, and so they have a home at a zoo. Education goes a long way. We have a long way to go, but that works. Sometimes zoos come, or animals come to babies. I'm tired, guys, and it's showing. Sometimes zoos take in native babies that for whatever reason have become orphans. We see that sometimes with bears, sometimes with mountain lions, Sometimes with moose, it happens. And it's awesome that a zoo is willing to do that because they have the technology, they have the ability to bring these animals in, to raise them up, and to give them a home. Now, I can't, there are some things that I can't honestly answer, and I really don't want to do that. But yes, zoos play a huge role in the survival of animals. I'm sure for me, if my parents had not taken me to zoos, I probably would still love animals. But there is something about seeing an animal in a zoo that is just incredible. I have seen koala. I have seen a leucistic alligator. I've seen king cobras. I have seen bald eagles in zoos. I've seen vultures, lions, tigers, Asiatic lions, and the list goes on and on and on and on. The point is, zoos do amazing work. And this probably is not the last time we're going to talk about zoos. Definitely not the last time that we're going to be talking about animals. So, yeah. Let me tell you tentatively what I have planned for the next couple days, for the next couple lives. So, assuming everything goes okay, Friday's live, Friday's live is going to be Animals of the Coliseum. So it's going to be a lot of we'll talk about the Coliseum, and then we'll talk about some of the animals that were exhibited in the Coliseum. I'll leave it at that because I don't want to get in trouble. We're also going to be talking about animals that were in Egypt. So animals that were mummified. No, Friday and Saturday. If I said Wednesday, I'm sorry. It's Friday at 7 o'clock for the animals, in the Coliseum. And then Saturday's live are the mummies. So we're going to be talking about animal mummies. And then Tuesday, I think I posted what Tuesday's live might be. Wednesday's nothing. It's just videos. Just videos. Wow, come on. Oh, I haven't posted the videos yet. But yeah, there's going to be a live on Tuesday, but it's to be announced as of yet because I don't have the videos up yet. I just put them up. They're not up. I just edited them, but they're not on YouTube yet. So that's the thing. So some of these questions will be posted eventually. Also, I just found out that I am going to be babysitting, I think, for the next while. So I will be getting in later than expected. So I may be a little bit scatterbrained, so I'm sorry for that. But we have 15, a little bit more than 15 minutes, but I leave it open for you guys to talk about whatever and hope to find out what you want to talk about. Guys, I just want to address that if you come into live and you're being rude, you're gonna get you're gonna be put into timeout. I've had the past 3 lives, I've had to put people in timeout. I don't want to do that. I hate doing it. But I will. I don't know where some people think that they can get away with that. 3 minutes. We've only been in live for 41 minutes. No, we have more than 3 minutes left. Why? I have 42:06. If we can make it to an hour, that's good. Hello. I just don't want to be the bad guy if I don't have to be. So be nice. That's all I ask. Come into live, participate, enjoy live, and just be nice. Oh, yeah, I guess so. So we'll be cutting out here. Yeah, but I didn't get on at 7 o'clock, so yeah, but we normally go an hour, and it's not been an hour. So that's why I'm going by the time on my live. I have 43 minutes. But yeah, I do have stuff that I need to get done. So for today, we're ending the live. Normally I would continue, but I do have stuff that I need to get done because babysitting. So I will see everybody later. Thank you for coming in. Hope you learned something. Maybe I opened your eyes on stuff. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Talk to you later. Goodbye.